1998, I'm in Brazil, and my buddies in the at Baja Gracie over there were like, "Yo, this guy is fucking crazy." They were talking in Portuguese, and then they go, "He trains with Renzo," and Christian on TV, he's getting branded. I'm gonna say revenge on his chest, branded like a horse, branded.
Yeah.
What is this, Yellowstone? What are you doing? Welcome to the show, Geeking Out with Matt Serra. Today is going to be me catching up with an old friend of mine and somebody who I probably wouldn't have became friends with if it wasn't for the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu and Master Renzo Gracie. The great Harley Flanagan from the Cro-Mags. From the Cro-Mags. Do it. What do you do? Yeah, I don't do it good.
You do it great. In fact, oh God, I remember a couple of those early fights of yours, man.
Yeah.
You remember when that choke and you gave that look at the camera and you were like,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, remember? And you were like, I was trying to think of a after that fight. You were like,
didn't they do that? They put that on Saturday Night Live.
They put my tongue out like, so I cut my
your tongue
mouth.
was bleeding.
Yeah, with Eve Edwards. Yeah. And, even though it's pronounced, even though there's an S there, it's pronounced Eve. It's Eve.
I thought it was like
Eve
St.
Edwards.
Ives.
No, man. St. Ives.
Like
but
Ives.
Eve, yeah, I'll tell you, because you know how like leg locks is the latest like craze, like, even though it's kind of.
I mean, we were doing them things.
Yeah, we were doing it forever, but back in the day, I could think of 3 different times in my fights that I used the Ashigarami sweep, and that was one of them where, well, actually, I pulled guard because Eve Edwards, the same fight we're talking about, he had me in that tie clinch, and I had him up against the cage, but he was still getting enough of his back out where I knew I'd be eating a knee to the grill in a second, So I pulled butterfly guard, pulled him on top, and he got around that leg, and just went for that heel. And I'd go for it. See, nowadays, I wonder with the transitions of taking the inside Ashi to the outside, if I even would have got the submission then. But I would usually go for it so hard where guys would look to defend it just to get on top. And at one point, I had him in the leg lock, and he was sitting to defend it. And I was, now that, I always want to do it, I started punching him in the face from it. I had his leg, and he's looking to defend it, and I'd be popping him with my right hand. Bop! Bop, bop. And then I just go for the heel and I'd use that to get on top. I love jiu-jitsu, Harley. Harley, let's talk about, not only are you, I'd say a pioneer in like the punk hardcore scene? What is it?
Yeah, it's something like that,
What is it called, man? You were all over the world. You're in those circles, you're famous as fuck.
Bro, you know what? It's like hardcore, but the roots are in punk rock, and I guess it landed somewhere in metal, We're
going to talk about your documentary that just came out about your life. You got a wild life, buddy. I told you, and I'm sorry, I watched, because I had to watch it through my, you sent me the link, and every time I get out.
Smart TV, you didn't send it to yourself?
I'm not too smart with the TV. Yeah. I might have a smart TV, but I need my wife to work it. But I watched the beginning of your documentary. It's called
Wired for Chaos.
Harley Flanagan, Wired for Chaos. Yes. Dude, it's pretty. First of all, congratulations. Not the documentary. I know you a long time. I know you since 1997, 8. What is it?
Bro,
when did you start? When did you go to?
I started in 96. So
96.
Yeah,
so I was there.
Yeah.
So we met in 96. So we know each other a minute, like the kids say. That's a long time.
A little while.
And now, isn't it odd that like we're both fathers and we have, and we made it through, man. You know what I mean? Like we know some guys that didn't make it through. We know, like you see a lot of casualties and just, I say a lot, like in the fight game, you see guys come through the other side, not so great, but in life in general.
Yeah. My business too, man. A lot of people don't make it, very far. You have a minute of success and then usually people,
how did you find your way in, and we'll talk about your life a little bit, obviously, and people really want to know about your life, where could they find your documentary?
It will be available soon. I think we're doing a theater run in, when is it? May? No, June? I'll actually tell you.
Yeah.
But we had our first...
What is a theater run? It's going to be a limited theater?
Well, we had a premiere in New York City at Doc NYC.
Dude, I so wanted to make it. No, I swear to God, no. Why are you laughing at that, you prick?
Like, I tried.
I know, because you invited me to. I wanted to make it.
Man, I knew you weren't going to make it, man. You
motherfucker. I'm a big shot now?
I said you were busy, motherfucker.
I'm not that busy. But
I live in Long Island. I mean, that's,
It's I'm on Long Island, but I swear I had something with my kids or something, but it was, how it is as a parent.
Well, anyway, it was a fucking...
Go ahead.
It was cool, man. It was...
I just got I just got a big thing of guilt.
Good.
You motherfucker. Hey.
The premiere went really well.
Yeah.
It got a really good reception.
It looked cool.
And then it went, and we had another one in LA. And so what's going to happen is I got a tour coming up right now with Danzig and Down and this other band, Abbott. We get done with that. We got a tour of Europe.
System of the Down?
No, there's other Down.
Sorry.
You know Phil Anselmo from the band Pantera?
A lot of people probably do.
Yeah, well, Pantera.
I know Pantera.
It's his other band, Down. So for those of you who know the Misfits and know Danzig, they're headlining. It's Down, Abbott, and us. We'll be playing at the LA Forum. It's a lot of big shows. That's like a 17,000 capacity. It should be a good show. But then, so we got those two runs. Then the theater run of the film, where I'm going to be doing Q&As and all that type of shit. And then I go back to Europe for another thing. So it's going to be busy summer.
Is the Cro-Mags bigger in like Holland and shit like that? I feel they're really... is that big in the... Are they big in that punk shit?
We're actually bigger in, believe it or not, like South America's fucking huge for us.
Yeah.
And I still haven't even been there.
Wait, you were never... You were in Brazil?
Nah, bro. I've played every fucking where, but like...
I got to bring up a memory of mine when I was in Brazil. Because you might not have been in Brazil, but you've been on Brazilian television.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know why I know you're laughing, you sick fuck. All right, Christian, listen to this. Now, you were training at Henzo's at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm 23 years old. Yeah, because this is 1998.
This is back when Vinny and Mito were still working.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I think I got Mito's job. Hey, Mito, sorry, buddy. Right now, that guy's in the fucking making acai shop in Brazil. Like, you got something.
No, he's got his own academy.
Oh, is he doing all right? I'm only fucking around. Me too. I don't know.
He's doing good, man.
I started working at Henzo's. But 1998, I'm in Brazil. And my buddies in the at Baja Gracie over there were like, yo, this guy is fucking crazy. They were talking in Portuguese, and then they go, he trains with Henzo. And Christian, on TV, they wouldn't have played it in the States. He's getting branded, I'm going to say revenge on his chest. Branded like a horse. Branded.
Yeah.
What is this, Yellowstone? What are you doing? What is that about, man? What is that about?
Bro,
I don't think I ever asked you about this. What the fuck's the matter with you, man? How about you like tattoos? Why not get a tattoo revenge? Do you still have it? You have it on your body?
Yeah, but it kind of faded a little bit.
Right,
Like, it's still there. You know,
you put some Neosporin on that bitch.
What happens is when I play and I get red when I play, I get worked up. The letters start to slowly appear.
Oh, that's fucking dude. And because he does the shirt off like.
Yeah.
I want to be on. I'm just gonna start barking. They're gonna have me on there.
You know who fucking sang with us at two different shows? Fucking Draculino.
Oh, I stay on that.
Yeah.
Draculino is a great black belt, old school black belt under Gracie Baja. And he's a great guy, Draculino. Awesome. Draculino also fought MMA.
Yeah, bro.
And he was very tough. Yeah, I love his jiu-jitsu because it transitions from gi to no gi.
Bro, he was very
dangerous in any weather.
He's still very innovative, you know.
Where is he at, Draculino?
He's out in Texas.
Where is he in Texas now?
Damn, I
Because I'm out there sometimes. I do the Rogan
you know
show.
what? I travel so much, man. My
Name
brain
drop?
is like
Sorry, go ahead.
my brain is like a fucking blender.
What did you do right before this? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Okay.
Where were you?
I was with you. We went to Talio's. I brought him over to Talio's. I say Talio's now. I say it right. You don't say the G.
Taglios.
Don't you dare. Did you see my post? Did you see my latest post? I had my buddy Bobby, who's
There's no G. You don't say the G.
you do not say the G. And a matter of fact, if you look on my Instagram, you got the owner, Rob.
Yeah.
Because I'm with my buddy Bobby Russo. And I go, Bobby, where are we? Because I just got back from Vegas. I was eating that shitty Vegas pizza. I was with Marab and Aljo. They're like, let's meet up. We got the new pizza place. It's part of a chain that like put out their name. And we had the pizza. It looked good. But dude, I'm used to Talio's. I'm used to fucking Talio's. I don't even know they have cannolis now they make in-house. And the other day I was there, I showed up, I was waiting for my shit. Rob brings out a cannoli with me, an espresso. We sit down, dude. It's like a second home now. I want to thank you for making that
It's
relationship.
the best. That place is the best.
And I love Rob.
I can't believe I missed out on the cannoli.
You know, I don't know if they have it at the spot. They have it in Massapequa Park. That's your next trip out.
Bro.
So anyway, you're getting revenge branded on you. How and why? How about that?
Oh God, I was a little pissed off.
It was about your ex? Oh no.
It was
Oh, sorry, that's something else. Who was it about? Well, you tell me, man. This is suspenseful.
You know what? I was going through a lot of shit at the time, and I guess I needed to purge. I don't know, bro. You know what? I think I told you last time I met you. Listen to me, I'm fucking burnt. Last time we got together.
Yeah. Tell me.
You know, before I started training, I was going through some pretty fucking crazy shit, and I was like
man.
I had just recently beaten a severe meth problem and a severe smack problem, and I had just stopped smoking PCP. So I was a little bit off the fucking deep end. So my behavior was a little bit,
That's why I'm so happy how you turned out, Harley. And I'll tell you, I think your wife has a lot to do with that too. I met your wife maybe not the last time I seen you. I know her now for a little bit, but it's kind of like with my wife. You get the right partner. They either bring you up or they bring you down, or they make you crazy. But that she seems like she's got you.
When you get the right
squared.
partner, it really changes your life for the better. It really does.
Yeah, it's one of the most important choices of your life.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Shout out to your wife too, Christian. She's very nice. And we're lucky because I seen some guys just go downhill. They get the wrong partner.
Man. Well, I went through a lot of really shitty relationships, and quite honestly, I was also a real asshole for most of my life. So
not since I met you, at least.
Well,
I don't know how you were when you went home.
Bro, you know what? I met you through jiu-jitsu, and really that was the beginning of me finding my way back to the path that I should have always been on. It really brought me back to who I was. I don't even want to know what the fuck you're thinking.
I'm laughing because we had the
brought
great...
me back to who I was.
No, because I know how jiu-jitsu changed you, right? And then I remember Ray Longo being in here telling a story about John Danaher telling a story to us about Harley Flanagan, the kids teacher, and one day the parents came in. What happened? Where's the kids teacher today? The kids teacher is in jail. He stabbed someone, and there's not. I mean, things. I know it changed you, but I'm sure.
I would love to hear John tell that.
That's as much
story.
as a story as I know, and I think that's as much as I want to know. We won't delve into that one, but. That was the last episode. That's when Mondo was on. Do you?
Oh fuck!
Hey,
that was an incident, boy. But Henzo had my back, and you know what? To be fair, the parents did too because they knew better. They knew I didn't go out and start knife attacking people.
I love the fact that Henzo had you as the kids instructor because the thing is this. You're like me, like a big kid. You're great with the kids. The kids loved you,
bro.
They loved your class, and your kids were in the class. Correct?
Yeah, well, bro, that's kind of how the kids program got started.
Isn't that funny?
Because the only kid before my kids was Gianni Grippo,
and look how he ended up.
Yeah, so my kids started training And then they had to start a kids program. And of course, Magno started that. And then I started helping him as payback because my kids were in there raising hell.
You know what's funny about that is I never taught the kids classes. I always had somebody teaching them. And I jump in here and there.
They would have loved you. You would have had such a piss.
You know, but now at my school, when my kids got of age, I wanted to make sure, even though they were in good hands either way.
Yeah,
you know,
just want
but
to make sure it's right.
I'm there.
Yeah,
so now,
yeah.
even now, I'm out there. I'm teaching Friday nights as long as I'm not
Bro, I used to coach the kids and go. I remember competing on the same at the same events that my sons were competing at. That to me was I was living the dream right then and there. Like I was like, fuck jumping around on stage. I'm fucking out here competing and with my kids on the same day, coaching them, fighting later, and
so amazing.
And to me, that was like a bond that, I feel like really I established something with them that I feel really lasted a lifetime. Like, cause I think most people, almost any parent will have a moment where their kids kind of drift off. And then if you start out with a good foundation, they'll come back.
Yeah.
And they'll remember the relationship you had.
Although that's shit like that, you competing on the, when you're a grandpa, they'll be saying, oh man, they'll be telling their kids about that.
Yo, man, these kids used to get on Greyhound buses to go compete, dog.
I mean, that is, they're going to remember that forever.
Yeah, man.
My daughter competes, my daughters compete, and like my wife competed on the same jiu-jitsu cards as them, jiu-jitsu competition too.
That's
awesome. Even my kid had a grappling match on an MMA event. Lou Neglia, who I'm going to go out, I'm going to see him later. The great Lou Neglia, great promoter. He had like, how many fighters get to the UFC from the Ring of Combat? That's where you know, the Ring of Combat used to be Vengeance at the Vanderbilt. And that's where you used to come watch me fight in Long Island.
I saw
Remember
you
when you used to come me
I saw
fight?
you there, and I also saw you at the Copacabana.
The Copacabana was nice.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you were in front of that recently and posted something.
Yeah, man. I was passing by and I was like, oh,
I love that
I
love that I fought there because the Raging Bull fought there.
Dude, bro, that's how cool is that?
And that was in Manhattan.
Fighting at the Copa?
That
Come on, man.
And it wasn't legal back then.
Bro, nah, man. I fought in the UCL. I had a couple underground combat. You remember Peter Storm? He used to promote them.
Sounds familiar.
He did like 5 years and he broke someone's jaw and
there you go.
But you know what? He was a promoter, but he's also a judo black belt. So when they would be short a fighter, he would get in the ring. And fight. I was like, this
back in the day,
legit,
it was wild, man.
Well, they used to just have them at boxing gyms and academies. They just bring the gates down, and the fighters would sell tickets, and that's how you'd get money, depending on how many tickets you sell.
This is the late '90s, and this is when in Manhattan it wasn't legal at all.
No, it wasn't sanctioned yet.
You know, they'd get me on as a grappling exhibition.
Yeah, when I saw you at the Copa,
it wasn't.
What was it called? Freestyle grappling exhibition
exactly,
match.
that's what it was called.
And it was on a Muay Thai card.
It was kickboxing card, Muay Thai, and me. So people, and it was still new. It was still new.
The Blade, what was his name? He was there. That dude.
Wesley Snipes was there that night.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes, and that's good for the show, Harley.
Yeah, Wesley.
Because we geek out a lot about movies, and I know you haven't watched one fucking movie in your life.
No, I'm not a big movie head.
You know what I'm going to do on here with you?
What? Watch movies?
No, I'm serious. Me and you are going to do a watch party. I swear to God. Christian, is that a good idea?
I'll do it, man. You know what I like, though? I do like documentaries because I like to learn shit and I like to,
Yeah, I don't. But listen.
Come on, we can watch some good, New York documentaries. Some good, gangster shit.
If you want to sit down with me and watch a fucking documentary.
All right, yeah. Bro, like that, what was it, Fear City? That reminds me of my childhood.
What's Fear City?
It's about New York back in the 70s, man, when it was like real wild.
Hey, man, I feel bad when you
Son of Sam era, the blackout, the garbage strike, when your people were running shit,
Where did you, my people? What do you mean by my people?
What? The guys from Long Island.
Where did you grow up in the city?
I, for the most part, grew up on the Lower East Side.
Now, single mother, and she was quite the hippie.
She was she was like a flower child or something of that nature.
Like from what I've seen in the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she was whatever was happening, she was always ahead of the curve. So she got me my first punk rock record because she wanted me to know what kids were listening to.
It was wild when I was watching your documentary, and that was your aunt.
That I played music
that you played music with, and then you were 13 years old when the one drummer didn't show up and they put you on stage.
Yeah,
13 years old. You got to see this. It's wild.
Yeah.
And how did it? So you did that, and then all of a sudden people start talking about your band, and they start talking about you got to see. And you were on the drums back then.
Yeah.
What's that about? Because you're not on the drum.
I'm originally a drummer, percussionist, and so on. I mean, I feel like drums are really the root of all instruments of all.
Yeah.
You know, we're all born with a drum in our chest. You know, our heartbeat. So I feel like everything comes from the drums. I'm still a drummer.
This is the musician coming. I like this.
And so I mean, I play bass very percussively. You know.
So now you do the bass.
Yeah.
And then you do the.
Yes, I'm a screamer. I don't call myself a singer as much as a screamer.
Yeah, but man, in your documentary, man, I saw Ice-T.
Yeah.
I saw all sorts of musicians from back in the day. How did you get? Who was that famous artist, Andy Warhol?
Yeah.
How the hell you know that guy?
Actually,
what is that about?
well, actually, my mom was one of the people. Like when she was like 15, 16, she used to do stuff at that place, the Factory, which was the art place that he was running. So my mom was always involved in like the counterculture scene, whether it was music or art or this and that. So I was really kind of like born into it. And I just like, I never really had like a normal childhood, like hanging out with other kids as much as I was always at some sort of a concert or some sort of an event or a bar or party or some other type of adult situation.
It was kind of cool watching you on like the rooftop with your friends and shit, and just fucking wherever you're at, and you're sitting there getting interviewed. You're
that was
cute little Harley. This savage. You should have seen him as a kid. You had your hair spiked up, and they were interviewing you. You looked comfortable on camera as a kid. You looked comfortable there. Is that weird? Did you feel comfortable?
Bro, I've been on stage so long.
You grew up in it.
You know.
You grew up on that scene.
But there's a lot of wild shit in that movie. I mean, it's like the history of the Lower East Side in it back in the day. It's like pretty rough, man.
I feel bad when you talk about your past drug addiction and drug problems. It's not like one day you're like, all right, let me try this. Let me try the latest. Let me see what this smack's about or whatever the fuck. I'm trying to think of some slang for fucking drugs. But, you know, the poor kids, you're walking down the block and you'd get they'd get a bag and put it over your head and say, breathe deep. Breathe deep.
Well, yeah,
as
it
you
was
can.
like the first time I got high that I recall. The kids on my block, I was, you know, they used to pick on me a lot in my area, right? And the gang on my block, I was walking by and they like made me huff glue with them. They just, you know, that was my introduction to getting high. It was like, put this bag over your face and keep breathing until you can't breathe. And there was this, you know, there was a lot of heroin in the neighborhood. Like they had abandoned buildings and there'd be lines coming out of the buildings wrapped around the block of all addicts buying drugs.
Yeah.
And it was fucking crazy. Like every few blocks there was another drug area, like another spot. And they were all run by the different gangs that like every, 20 blocks or so, there'd be a different crew operating. So it was a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, and
how you got started? They started with putting a bag over your head, making you sniff some glue.
Yeah, that was.
So then, when I knew you, were you still going through shit?
No, well, I was kind of
96.
I just was
96?
defeating my last real run with like hard drug use. I had been I was doing a lot of meth and a lot of dope and pretty much whatever the fuck else I could get my hand on.
Yeah,
and I had just kicked drugs when I got back to New York. I started looking for a place to train because
did you know about jiu-jitsu?
Well,
How'd you find us?
Because I had seen UFC 1 and UFC 2. I fucking got them on a VHS from Blockbuster. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I remember when you arrived at the Hensel Gracie Academy on 27th Street.
My dude, I remember when you arrived, man. I was like, bro, check this out. I was a white belt and I was training and I fucking go away on tour one time, gone for a few months, and I come back. There's all these fucking new blue belts. And I'm like, how the fuck where'd these guys come from? Because it takes a while to get a blue belt back then. And I'm like,
wait, where were you?
And it was,
though?
I was on fucking tour, dude.
I was
and
there
I
since
came
it's
back
open, though.
Bro, I was there at the fucking, I remember when you and Danaher were both blue belts. I was a white belt and I got my blue belt at the same time that you fuckers were blue belts. And I remember coming back from touring and being like, who the fuck are these guys? I'm like, how did they all skip white belt?
No, man. I started at Ayushi Judo with
I was with Craig Kukuk, bro.
I was with Craig Kukuk also.
I was at Kukuk, bro.
At Oishi Judo?
Bro, I still got...
How come I don't... Listen,
Because
I remember
you
you in
used to
'96, but I was there from Kukuk, and then when they opened up '96.
You got there before me with Kukuk.
Yeah. Okay.
But I started at that first Kukuk Academy upstairs.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what that one is.
That was where Mito and Vinny were.
No, you're thinking of 27th Street. That's Kukuk at Gracie Kukuk Academy.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
You're right, 27.
So, yes,
and then we went
I
from
was
there
there
to the loft where we were over at the Kung Fu
Yeah, because
school.
they had the split up. So when you first got there, it was a wild time back then.
Bro, it was madness, dude. It was madness.
People don't know.
Bro, there was a methadone clinic on the floor above the academy.
Yeah, dude, your mind is so nuts. Now, that is 37th Street.
Bro,
Papaya.
come on, man.
Dude, 27th Street's by FIT.
Well, that's because we
Gracie Kukuk.
Yeah, but we had that other academy over
Oh,
there.
above the methadone clinic.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, I thought you were putting them both together.
Yeah, no, I'm just mixing
But
the fuckers.
but even then too, that was not like a couple of years later. But the very first one, the amount of fucking nuts that came in that place. Challenge matches and fucking people wanting to test it. It's people I don't think could realize how it is now. Because sometimes you'll see something on YouTube, something stupid, but it's nothing like it was back then because you had the two types. Just the regular tough guys that wanted to test it. And then you had even worse, the traditional martial artists that put their lives to their martial art. And also jiu-jitsu comes out taking a shit on everything. And they want to come out there and try to poke your eye, grab your throat, and fight dirty and do stupid shit. And we have to snap some arms. That was the reality of it back then. I don't like this happening now at Sarah BJJ because I'm not getting sued. And, it's a different time now. People know they know what they didn't know. They wanted to test it in the heart of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And
no, I remember a couple of times
wild.
I had like incidents where I had people that wanted to fight me, and I was like, "Yo, Henzo, is it cool if I just do it here, so I don't have to worry about people jumping in and blah blah blah?" And he was like, "Yeah, just make sure somebody films it and there's somebody from the academy there."
it was kind of the Wild West. It was nuts.
Well, bro, back then,
nobody's seen it before. Everybody growing up now knows what jiu-jitsu is, know what an arm lock is. Back then, they're like, well,
the only people who knew and who wanted to train were people who were either dudes who just liked to fight.
Oh, well, it was all about the fight.
Or people who worked as bouncers. Yeah, because MMA wasn't a big enough sport yet for people to like, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu and try to fight in UFC. Like
it was actually just getting termed MMA.
Exactly. So like the only people who got into it were like crazy fucking people and people who really were pursuing the highest levels of martial arts. People who had tried this, tried that, were like, now I found the real deal.
We used to always have visitors coming in at that Henzo Academy, whether it's Japan's finest. Yuki Nakai came down with a film crew when Henzo wasn't there one time.
I remember.
And I was running the class and I had to go verse him with a whole film crew there. We got him. Listen, man, you holding down the fort. You got to hold down the fort. And I got Henzo on the phone. He was in Jersey. He's like, keep him there. So the guy shows up with a whole Japanese film crew. So it's me and Yuki Nakai. And Yuki Nakai was a tough Japanese fighter.
Yeah,
he fought Hickson Gracie.
He was tough.
He fought Hickson Gracie in the Vale Tudo. And Gerard Bebadou, or whatever his name is. I get him confused with the actor. But he gouged his eye in a fight.
His face
and he got blind after that.
Yeah,
he was eye gouging him. That was some dirty shit. But he was a talented grappler, though.
Yeah, but dude, he was going for that. He was going for that ankle and knee for so long. That dude was just stomping on his face. It was like, bro, like
it's funny.
Certain things don't. There comes a time to try something else, man. Like, you're blind for life. Bro.
Yeah, no, he was on a leg, and I believe he was holding the ropes. He was that Gerard.
Yeah.
And just something about that guy.
Yeah.
In UFC #1,
I heard he was dirty.
He tried to bite Hoist Gracie.
Oh, word.
Yeah, that's why Hoist kept on the choke. He goes, he tried to bite me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, people don't realize people used to do a lot of dirty shit, man.
And this guy,
like anything you could get away with that the judge wouldn't see, people used to try, man.
And back to this guy being dirty, and also he's also so Christian, you might remember this. If you ever remember that very first fight where the sumo got his tooth kicked out, he's the guy that did that. So he blinded this Japanese fighter that was visiting us. But
Well, those Dutch-
one eye or
those
not,
those Dutch
I had
dudes
to
are
hold
crazy.
down the fort.
Hey,
no,
man.
listen, we got him. But we have guys visiting. One time we had Jeff Blotnick. He's rest in peace. He used to be the commentator for the UFC.
Yeah, I remember him.
300 pound, 300 plus. And he won, I believe, the Greco-Roman.
Yeah, he was tough, man.
And and a lot of the Brazilians, I remember. It was me, Flavio Almeida, and that's Carl Almeida's brother, obviously.
Yeah.
And some of the other higher belts, we went versus him, right? So some of the Brazilians went versus him first, but they tried to do the butterfly guard game. And you don't do that with a fucking 300-pound wrestler. So he was smashing their guards. He was doing the smash pass before it was the smash pass. So when I went with him, I kept my foot in his hips, and I used to attack like a beast. So I when he came in, he was a little jockish, a little somebody called it NHB. He's like, the term now is MMA, and he was being very whatever. And then I rolled with him, and I had a very good roll with him, and he was a sweetheart ever since, And it makes you feel. I remember being like, "Yo, that guy was in the Olympics, and he's a heavyweight,
Bro.
And I'm up to his belly button."
He was a big
And
dude,
I'm
man.
like on the sand. That's what's made you feel so powerful about jiu-jitsu, because you're like, we're like I'd say to the taller girls I try to date, we're all the same size on the floor. Boo! Hey, guys. Anyway, no, I never said that. I never do good in clubs with girls, really. I would if, I was fighting in the open weight class, but I wouldn't know why I wouldn't normally, because if, they like tall gentlemen. I'm 5'6". What works for me is my charm.
Well, you are a charming motherfucker.
Oh, shit. Listen, I'm 5'6", but with jiu-jitsu, I walk around like I'm 6'8". You understand what I'm saying? Hey, Harley, do you remember this? I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember going to CBGB's with me? Was that you? Did you go there with me?
I don't know, man.
Did you ever go there?
I was pretty fucking baked.
I went there.
Okay,
I
'cause
believe it was with you.
I grew up in that motherfucker.
I know. That's the only reason I went there. It was me, you. I think it was Brazilian Marcus.
Fuck.
Remember Marcus?
Yeah, of course.
He lives in Florida
he's
now.
in Florida. You got it.
Marcus, he wasn't the best looking little Brazilian, but that he would pull girls and he'd be like, "Man, I'm like the Terminator. I get shot down, I keep going to the next, to the next." He'd play the numbers game. And that little son of a bitch, he'd do all right. I go, "Dude, look at this fucking guy.
Hey,
I'm
man.
better looking than him."
God
No, he's a
bless.
good looking guy. I was just fucking, he's gonna watch this. But, I used to need my charm
Bro,
to get with the ladies.
I've been married. I've been happily married so long.
Me too. Hey, listen.
I don't even remember how to have
Me
a
too.
conversation with a woman other than, "Hey, how you doing?"
That's hey, Harley, that's good. That keeps you out of trouble, and that keeps us all out of trouble.
Man? My life is so good. I'm loving life right now, man.
Man,
I went through fucking hell, and somehow I got to the other side, and it's just beautiful.
When people watch that documentary, it's like I'm not saying it's a miracle you made it through, but
it is. Man.
It might be. It's up there.
It is,
the odds were kind of stacked against you.
They were definitely stacked against me. I mean, you know what, bro? I'm just at the end of it all, man. I am just so fucking grateful. That's because I got an amazing life. I still have my health. I'm 58 years old.
You're 58. Look at you. That's jiu-jitsu.
I'm 58, and I feel like, honestly, I'm on top of my game. I don't feel like I'm starting to decline. I feel like, dude, I'm physically up to speed with any place I was in my life. I'm in as good shape, but I'm mentally sharper than I ever was, and I'm not like all fucked up. Whatever injuries that I have from training and old age, bro, I've been injured my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
I've always had injuries, so that's nothing new. Yeah, I've got a little this, a little that, whatever. Big fucking deal. I'm in better shape physically, mentally. Bro,
You're not getting shit
58. I feel 28.
You're not getting shit branded on your chest no more.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing a lot of stupid shit anymore. Life is fucking awesome.
How did you get off that shit you were on. See, me, I was so lucky that I met my 2 pizzeria bosses at 17. They were 36 when I was 17. I became very close with them. I'm close. Louis passed away last year, and Nicky Castiello's still around. And they were kind of like mentors, but they were funny fucking guys. And they told me early on, because they had a problem and they got over it. And they go, look, don't try cocaine, because all you got to do is try it once. And they scared me. Because they tell stories about them in the past, and it scared me enough where I never ever tried it. No, and I don't look at anybody different if they ever did or whatever.
Oh yeah,
you know why? Because I know my personality too. I'm very, if I like something, I like something. So I'm like, you know what? I just didn't want to go down that path because I seen people get ruined from that. You were in the depths of hell. How did you get out of that? And because I don't feel there was many relapses. I know you a long time, and I feel you've been good.
I've been good since the 90s, bro.
Well, that's fucking great. Well, there you go.
Look, I smoke weed. I will microdose on mushrooms from time to time.
I'm afraid of psychedelics.
I was too, but the only reason I started with that is because I heard a lot of things about people with PTSD working, like trying microdosing.
No, I'm not shitting on it.
Well,
for sure.
that's actually what made me start doing the research, because I was afraid of any kind of. Let me put it this way: I've had a lot of experiences with psychedelics, and some of them were not good.
Yeah,
I went off the deep end, bro. I used to fucking shoot acid, man. I used to. I'm like,
don't whisper it. Go ahead.
No, I literally used to shoot LSD, like mixed with crystal meth. I mean,
what is that about?
It's fucking crazy.
What are you seeing then,
bro? You know, it was
the
like
multiverse,
bro. It was like fucking. You know, like in the.
Did you ever meet Doctor Strange in that fucking thing?
You know how when the Millennium Falcon takes off in light speed,
now you talking
and
my
everything
language.
just goes. That's what I fucking felt like.
Shit, man, you got it.
Just like,
no. See what happens? You don't want to do it.
No, but look, so. You want to know how the fuck I got off that?
Yes.
Shit? I found the purpose. I found a purpose that was more important than destroying myself. And I think that's just,
Well, don't leave us hanging.
No,
What's the purpose?
I'm not
you building up to it?
You know, like a girlfriend of mine, may she rest in peace, had contracted HIV.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And she had gotten pregnant. And she had a daughter. And I found this out when I was in California in the depths of my drug use, that this chick was HIV positive and was about to give birth. And then she tells me there's a possibility that it's your kid.
All right.
So the first thing I did was I went and I got the immediate test result.
Okay, that was my next.
That was the first,
I was going to ask.
That was the first thing I did. And for many years after, actually every time I do get a blood test, I still get the AIDS test just because. But this was back in the 90s, so I've been in the clear. I ain't worried about that shit. But anyway, this was the impetus, was when I realized that there was a child that might possibly be mine, and that the mother was fucking most likely going to die of this disease that she had and had a serious drug problem. And that was when I said, you know what? I got to get my shit together and I got to go back to New York and sort out what the fuck is going on.
And that got you, okay.
That got me to get I started jogging. I started working out to get the sweat out. And I got up to like running. I started like 5 miles. I was doing like 15
Did you have like the
miles.
withdrawals and shit?
I had all that shit. And I was just smoking a ton of weed. And just like, I'd pop a few pills if I had to take the edge off. And I just got myself the fuck off of that shit, got back to New York, found out that the kid wasn't actually mine, but the chick was dying. And I wound up actually taking care of the girl for the first like 3 years of her life. And I'm still actually very much involved with her life. I still treat her like
Harley,
she's like,
come on.
She's still like a daughter to me. And she's almost 30. And I still,
wow.
I still take care of her. And I speak to her almost every fucking week.
That's great.
So,
man.
that was, again, I needed something to matter. And, And actually the truth is, the drug use throughout the course of my life, it was a way for me to escape from my own pain and my own shit that had happened in my own life. It was like a way to kind of bury my head in the sand from the shit. Bro, like, you know what? I talk about all this shit in the film and stuff. Growing up in the way I did, I was exposed to a lot of things at an early age. I was, sexually molested many times as a very young kid, mostly by females, but there were some incidents where I also got molested by men. And all these things really kind of fucked me up. And as a young person, I started medicating in order to kind of not have these things in the forefront of my brain making me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then by the time I hit like 13, 14, some bad shit happened to me, and it just switched me over to a really dark and violent place where I was just like, you know what, now people are gonna fucking fear me, and they're not gonna see, this little victim anymore. They're gonna see somebody that they know will fuck them up, and that's when I started just going off the fucking deep end, fighting like it was a hobby, like fighting anybody and anybody on the street, anybody who looked at me wrong, anybody who walked by, anybody for any reason, and I turned into a real fucking problem.
And
then that was just my life for a while until I started playing, until I realized I needed to. I started trying to get on a higher path, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna credit jiu-jitsu for everything.
I credit it with a lot. I credit it with a lot. I mean, I started trying to find my way in a spiritual way. I started trying to, ask myself, is there a spiritual, is there a God? What's our purpose? Why is life this way? Why is it so fucked up? Why am I living this way? And I started soul searching.
Any answers?
No. but I do know that my life is going to be about improvement, always.
Yeah.
I can't undo a lot of the fucked up shit that I did in my life. I don't pretend to. I don't pretend that I can try, but I know I won't do those same things again.
Yeah, but you also, you just said that one instance with the girl, the daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, Harley, I knew from day one you had a good heart. I knew you were a good guy. Even when you were getting revenge branded on your chest, people were like, this guy's a maniac. I go, what? That's fucking Harley. You always had a smile on your face. You were always nuts a little, but in a good way. Not in a we always got along, Harley. I don't think we ever had a right.
We always got along, dude.
Even when I had neon belly on you,
bro, you probably. I was looking forward to coming out here so much today. My face started hurting just because I knew how much I was gonna laugh today, and my stomach, bro. Like
we always were laughing.
It's always a fucking blast to see you, man. Always has been, and definitely jiu-jitsu, man. It has introduced me to some of the coolest motherfuckers that I've ever met in my life, dude.
I used to teach as a purple belt when you knew me.
Yeah.
Remember I used to teach David Lee Roth private lessons?
I remember. Yeah, of course.
It's so funny because my sister used to have pictures of him on the wall and shit.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm teaching the guy.
Yeah.
He used to like it. I used to teach him, and then he'd be staying at some hotel in the uptown somewhere, and we'd walk from 23rd Street. He's like, I like to walk if you want to walk it. So we'd walk all the way back towards this fucking
Remember when he was fucking driving an ambulance for a minute?
No.
He was doing that shit after he left Van Halen in New York City. The motherfucker was driving an ambulance.
I know he had a radio show.
Bro, he's a bug out, man. I think he's cool as fuck.
You know him? You know
Not really, but
who was the Beastie Boy that you were friends with, Adam?
I knew all them dudes, man. They were good guys.
The one that passed away.
Yeah, no, Yauk, he was my homie. First person I ever ate LSD with. The motherfucker gave me acid when I was 12, bro.
When you were acid?
Bro,
when you
that
were 12.
motherfucker gave me acid when I was 12, and we went and saw Clockwork Orange.
See, there you go. That's a movie.
Bro,
That's your type of movie.
Bro, dude,
is that how you got straight? They strapped you down and had your eyes wide open with a fucking thing, and they're like making you watch violence until you puked?
That fucked me up, bro. That left a
It should. It's a fucked up movie.
So that was the first time you did also was with Adam Yauch?
Yeah, saw Clockwork fucking
That's
Orange.
fucking awesome.
Bro, come on, man. Well, dude, the first time I did crystal meth was with fucking Lemmy and Filthy Animal Taylor from Motorhead.
Wow.
And I was 15 on that one, which I always thought was cool until I had kids, and I was like, yo, if somebody fucking did meth with my son when he was 15, I'd fucking beat him to death, man. I'm sorry,
right?
Bro. And here's a guy who's like a rock and roll icon, and I'm like, wow. Well, if you're gonna do speed with somebody, there's really no one better.
Isn't it weird when you look at yourself at that age,
Christ.
and then you look at your kids and how you raise them?
Kidding me? I'd kill me if I hung around my kids, half my shit.
Right? But just the fact that you were able to do that stuff, and the difference with having a parent that, not that your mother wasn't involved, but obviously
my mom was a fucking mess, man.
Yeah,
my dad was a fucking convict and fucking junkie and alcoholic, all that shit,
But like, look at your kids at 15 and stuff. They were training. They were doing.
They were training. But you know what? To be fair, you know, when me and their mother separated, you know, my kids went into their own, like, they had to go down a road of, you know, and it took me a little while to reel my eldest son back in. But I'm happy to say that, you know, I had a really good connection with them always as little guys, and I think that training together and just rolling around and having that bond of being able to like beat each other up and submit each other and just have fun, I really think that built a strong foundation for our relationship because we're super tight. Like I can talk to my kids about just about anything. I bring my oldest son on tour with me all the time. I mean, you know,
dude,
we have a lot of fun together.
I think about me at 16 and 15, like I'm staying over McCluskey's house, Ma. All right. Dude, I'd be out all night. I'd just be walking around Long Island. I don't know why. We would try to stay up all night and we get beers and then we go to like the school, like in the bleachers and just fucking bullshit. It was fun.
Up in Long Island.
It was fucking fun. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, fucking street rat. I'm only kidding. Fucking ghoul. Fuck you, fucking CBGB fucking ghoul. Listen, no, don't get me wrong. There's some Long Island shits out there. No, listen. Long Island's a big place. But why are you shitting on Long Island?
Because I'm from the city.
No, I know. Yeah. But it's funny because everybody looks at Long Island like soft. And then a guy from the city would come down, I'll smack the fuck out of him. And then I'll say, all right, there you go. Have fun in your concrete jungle, tough guy. You know what I mean?
I was thinking on my way out here, I was like, you guys just don't like the city because of the fucking commute.
Dude, I'll tell you, Mineola to the city is not fucking bad. How bad was that, 40 minutes?
35.
35 minutes!
Yeah, but I gotta listen to these fucking morons.
Oh, well, listen.
Fucking like working on construction sites and shit. I'm just like, oh, you fucking drill bits, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, nah, listen.
Like, you know, at least the subway, you see some fucking freaks.
See, that's the thing. You're like a Morlock. You're like one of the fucking mutants that live underneath the fucking city in the X-Men. That's what my buddy is. You see, like that's what he is. You know, he's a different kind of mutant. You know? But no, man, I used to be honest. Because you asked me, because I don't do Unfiltered in the city anymore.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it better now because I got my green screen. I can do it at my house, and I spend more time at the school that way. But of course, when I go to the city and I come back, it's a little bit more of a commute where I live. You put on another half an hour, and even though I'd be there and back, the pluses was. I did stop by Henzo's a bunch. I get an espresso in the park.
Bro, the city's fucking fun. Man.
I did, and listen, man. You remember how much I was there 6 days a week.
Bro.
I'd sleep over on 27th Street.
I remember that was
I'd sleep because I'd be teaching Saturday mornings, and I'd go out. I would teach the noon classes, and then we don't train until nighttime, 6 o'clock. Yeah. So I'd spend the city sometimes with you. We'd go out to eat. Sometimes with someone else. Sometimes by myself. I'd go see a movie by myself, which was something I enjoyed doing. And it's a little bit more accepted in the city than it is in Long Island, where you look weird.
The city's fun, man. It's fun. You know, I mean,
I go to a comic book shop. I just walk around, find different spots. It was fun. Dude, I did have fun being in the city.
It gets a bit much to live there 24/7. But I'll tell you, man. There's nowhere else like it, man. I can't escape.
It's got a vibe.
I always come back.
There's
something that just feels good about knowing you're in a 24-hour city. You know, you can if you need something, you could walk down the block to the bodega and get it at 3 a.m. if you want.
You have a 7-Eleven, motherfucker?
Yeah, you got to get in your fucking car and.
I got to drive 3 blocks, Harley. Oh my fucking Long Island.
That's it. Long Island motherfuckers will drive 3 blocks.
Yeah, but
that's some fucking sorry ass shit, dude. Fucking New Yorkers will walk I'll walk fucking 5 miles, 10 miles like it ain't shit. Or I'll get on the fucking subway, bang, I'm right there.
I got arthritis, man. I don't want to be walking that shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can walk. You saw me walk. I walk normal. Yeah. But man. I'd rather live.
That's why I can't handle LA, man, because I love LA. I always have a great time.
You love LA,
but I can't fucking spend 4 fucking hours.
I lived there 25 years, bro, and it's all you do is drive.
How the fuck do you handle handle that shit.
It was the worst. It's so much easier to get places here.
My dude, if I know I'm going to be in a car for at least an hour and a half just to go any fucking where, bro, I'm going to try not to have to go.
It's the worst.
I'll tell you right now, it's not much different driving to Manhattan back and forth.
Yeah, well, I live in the motherfucking city.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, like, when I go to the city, when I ever drive in, I drive in usually after rush hour, and then I leave at nighttime late, so it's not a problem. I drive right home. I used to live in Woodmere with Rodrigo, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Had that apartment. It was a great time. But anyway, did I just bark? Anyway, I was young. I was 23. But when I leave at the wrong time, I leave a couple times I'd left during rush hour. Dude, 3 hours.
Bro, wait a second, man. This sucks. We're talking about commuting. Let's talk about something.
No, we're having a fun talking.
Something.
What do you want to talk about?
Bro, I've been fucking listening to some of your interviews where you've been interviewing some of the fucking guys that you fought.
You listen? Do you subscribe to the Matt Serra channel?
Bro, let me tell you, man. Yo, people. This is one of the funniest people I know.
Get closer to the mic. You give me a compliment.
This is one of the funniest motherfucking people I know. And I'll tell you, I love listening to you talk with the guys that you fought because
that's fun, ain't it?
You know, like whether you beat them or lost to them,
both.
It's or had rematches and the whole thing because you really get to see that you can fight somebody on a professional level and still get along and fucking have fun. And it's really. The only person I think you probably don't feel that way about is probably Frank Trigg. Is there anybody?
You know what's funny? When I see Frank, I'll say hello and everything. But
wow,
you know
I'm
what
impressed.
He took a shot at me after we fought. It's one thing leading up to a fight, but I always bring it up like after we fought, I was friendly with him, but he'd make some fat jokes. And it's like, yo, dude, I was fat at the time. So when
you were never fat, dude.
Hey, right now, you want me to show me my abs?
You already.
Wait, hold on.
Does he ever miss a chance?
Hold on. They're gonna edit this. Pretend like you're asking me about my abs. So wait, but I used to be fat, Harley. I used to be fat. But I used to be fat.
You were never fat.
Nah, I was, man. I was up to 230. I'm 185 now.
You were 230?
I'm 185 now.
God damn, you were fucking fat.
You're missing your fucking cue. Oh, so I was 180. I was 230 at one point.
Fucking hell, man. Man.
All right, yo, what do you want to see my abs?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, yo. 58.
All right, let's go. Learn to take a cue.
58, motherfucker.
You look great.
Yeah,
you look great.
It's all the dust, man. The fucking embalming fluid and that shit, man.
I'll tell you, I never did the dust.
Nah.
But you look fucking great.
Crazy Eddie, man. 1/16.
But yeah, so when I was a fat,
they're not there anymore, and I'm not trying to sponsor them. Crazy.
I want to get some sponsors.
His prices are
Commercials are the best.
Whatever happened to
that
that
was a
guy?
brand of dust, bro.
What's that?
That was a dust brand. That was PCB. Back
Yeah, but the
Crazy Eddie.
Yeah, but they also had
yeah.
those. But they
Yeah,
had those
I
commercials.
I wasn't talking about the store.
Oh, me and Christian right away thought the store. I'm sorry we ended up on the
fucking Long Island guys. You're like,
I'm sorry.
you mean
Well, to be fair, I'm from
the
Queens.
store. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yes, that's
There you
fucking
go.
part of Long Island too, man.
So all right, so
I used to feel like I used to go out and visit my grandparents in Queens, and I always felt like I was going to the suburbs, but it wasn't even the suburbs.
Hey,
'Cause I
dude,
grew up in fucking.
first of all, I visit my grandparents in fucking Hollis, Queens, and I didn't feel like that was the fucking suburbs. I'd be like, lock them up, mom, dad, lock the door.
come on, Christmas in Hollis, bro.
I did. I had Christmas in
man.
Hollis.
Yeah, just like the.
And I used to love to get back to Long Island after that shit. You know?
you motherfuckers, you the people that don't like the city. It's not that
Just
we don't
stop
like
calling
y'all.
used people.
Yeah.
I'm getting offended. What was I gonna say? What the fuck was I gonna say?
You guys were talking about the people you interviewed.
Frank,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I like everybody.
You
But
know,
the
that was a
interviews-
fucking fight that I had a tough time with with the fucking all your matches with GSP because I was fucking so close with you since we were blue belts.
and George
But
was
he was
training
such a
us.
fucking nice guy,
He's an hour less.
and he was like he was so good with my kids and like, so like when you guys got matched up against each other, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks because I
Yeah.
fucking love both of these fucking guys.
But at the end of the day.
But they were fucking all great fights, and
But at the end of the day, if we're both drowning and you have to save one.
Sorry, George.
I love George.
I love George.
You know me
what?
longer.
If I was a better swimmer, I'd save you both.
All right. I don't want to put you. First of all, I don't want to put you in that position because I love George.
I love him to death.
My,
and to be fair, I think he's a really good swimmer. He'd probably make it to shore before either of us.
matter of fact, he's a fucking excellent
that's
swimmer.
what I'm saying. He'd probably be saving us.
He came in, he was guest host on season 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he went and he was having like these competitive matches versus swimming versus Jeremy Jackson.
A word.
Is that the one who went to jail? He was the one who fought Nick Diaz, and he's the one who jumped over the wall to get the chubby lifeguard. Anyway, so he got kicked off the show in my season. He was a talented guy, but they were very athletic. So they had the best swimming matches. The worst, myself versus Dean Thomas. I was doing the doggy paddle, and Dean was walking, because he's long, he's tall. So it didn't. I don't know how it didn't make the episode.
Oh, that should have been in.
And speaking of guys I fought, first of all, that episode, the episode of me and some clips of me and him, like 150 something thousand. Our show was really big.
Well, the one he's
with George.
Yeah, it was our biggest one.
George St. Pierre was on here. We talked about our whole history,
well, you guys
both
are
our
fucking,
fights.
that was great fights, and you guys are both fucking like stand-up guys and stand-up comedians practically. You know, I mean,
yeah.
No,
George,
no, you
is
are,
this thing
you know.
working? I ain't working. Not fucking around.
I don't even think he means to be funny. He
No,
just,
George is like just a great human being.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
that was
like,
a shit match. Those fights sucked for me because I fucking loved you both.
Yeah, it's one
and
of
it was
those.
like, but it was like, you know what? I was like, well, you know what? Whoever wins, I'm gonna be happy, but I want Matt to win.
Yeah, good. Well, now you know you're welcome back on the show. Is what I got.
And I love you, George. You're a gentleman. You
Listen,
always
everything worked out. You know, I just did.
I got to, watching him train with fucking Danner was fucking awesome.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
And you know what?
And watching John become what he is now, we've seen where he came from.
Bro,
you know,
I've seen so many fucking badasses come up underneath him. I watched like Gordon Ryan's whole fucking rise when that whole group of guys first started working under him.
Yeah, it became the Danaher Death Squad.
Yeah, that whole shit, you know, like. Yeah. But then again, I remember back when it was like at the old academy when everybody was fighting in Pride. When it was like Henzo, Hyen, Rodrigo, fucking like the whole crew, Half, like it was. You know, I got pictures of my kids at the academy back then when it was like just a stable full of like dudes.
Savages,
war, man.
No, the Henzo Gracie Academy in Manhattan is legendary.
You know, and actually I was telling somebody the other day, you know, the one thing that we never really worked on was weapon jujitsu shit. Like how did, you know.
Henzo didn't like this. Enzo didn't like any of that.
No,
like he's like, you know.
Well, because number one, I've been stabbed. I've also stabbed a couple people. If there's a knife involved, somebody's getting cut. You know, period. You know, and if somebody's got a gun, you know, you're probably getting shot.
That stuff gets hokey. You know
it gets hokey. I don't say it's not useful to fucking practice stuff like that and having comprehension, but we didn't fuck with that shit because all those guys were fighting. They were training for what they were doing. They were fighting. They were all actively professional. So we were in a fight gym more than
100%.
More than like a traditional jiu-jitsu academy. It was a fucking fight academy.
It was a fight academy, but in the same, you know,
we did gi, but
with the gi, that's what my point is. Henzo is the one who stressed the gi to me.
Yeah,
because Craig Kukuk didn't even own a gi. He told me, like his jiu-jitsu would go from he wouldn't really.
seen him in gi.
His thing was he said I don't even own a gi or that type of thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't like it as much. Henzo stressed the importance of the gi, and it was more so than just tournaments. Like it's a jacket. You shouldn't be able to get a blue belt if you can't choke somebody unconscious with their North Face jacket on. You know what I mean?
True.
That's one. Okay, and two. Man, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're a wrestler, if you're a bigger guy, it's gonna be hard to keep you down. When you got the gi on, now they got you. Now you can't get up. Now you're forced to get a bottom game, or you're forced to have different ways to get up to your feet instead of just powering or exploding your way up. It takes away the explosiveness. If you're on top, there's ways to manipulate the balance without the gi on. When you got a rope around your neck, there's more ways to fucking rip and pull.
No,
so you develop that statue-like posture when guys are trying to manipulate your balance. So there's more weapons to it. There's more obstacles to get past. So when you take it off, you're flying. So Henzo's the one that really made me believe in that. And the first time I ever felt I ever accomplished anything of any kind of importance in my life is when I won the Pan American Games. Actually, when I won the in-school tournament when he arrived, which was the first thing I ever won. But that Pan American Games was more of a kind of an international type thing. And, you know, it just gave me something, the confidence that I never had before, where I'm like, wow, man, I could, you know, maybe do something with this. You know?
Was that like the first sport that you really pursued?
Anything. In school, I didn't do anything. I did a season of wrestling, and then and like season and a half. I didn't get along with the wrestlers. I didn't get along with the coaches. I don't. And I mean, now as an adult, and I look back, I was a wild kid, but they were dicks. They were dicks. They were straight up how Matt Hughes was with me. Like they had that kind of attitude. Like, and I remember just trying to talk to them. Like, and they're like, "Well, you're not." They were just. I didn't get along with them. I probably still wouldn't. You know, that's why like jiu-jitsu. When I was in jiu-jitsu, I'm like. At Henzo's, I felt like I belonged. Yeah. Misfits like you.
Yeah.
I felt like these are my people.
Yeah. I walked in and
when I say misfit, I say it with love.
I 100%. No, when I went in there, I felt like I found a community of lunatics that I could fit into.
What I find with happiness now for me, more than anything with, first of all, I felt I was winning the second Henzo gave me Mito's job. But the second he put me on there and I was basically living off private lessons. I was cleaning the toilets. I was out of a security guard booth. He got me out of that. And I felt
he
like
also
I
knew he was going to make you a fucking pro fighter. Like there was certain people that he was like, this guy's going to be one of my horses in my stable that's going to be out fucking representing our team.
He put some pressure on my ass,
bro. He knew, man.
He showed up at those Pan American games and he goes, "Man, I'm here to see you win. You're going to get first place. If you get second, congratulations. You'll be the first loser." I tell that story a lot because, dude, that's fucking Henzo. And not only that, there was guys next to me from the school, too. They go, "Wow, he's here to watch you win." I go, well, he's here for us. I'm like, what the fuck?
He knew. He knew. Yeah, man. I remember. Again, like, bro, I fucking will never forget that shit when I showed up at the academy that day and I looked around and I see you and Danaher and your blue belts. And I'm like, who the fuck are all these new blue belts?
Yeah.
Because I was like, these motherfuckers just skipped right past white belt. I was gone for like 3-4 months.
Well, listen, come back. Some guys got to train. Some guys got to go get shit embroidered in their fucking chest.
How fucking long were you even a white belt for? Like fucking 2 days?
You know what it is? I got the blue belt. Pretty quick. I
was gone for like 4 fucking months.
Because Craig Kukuk was only 1 day a week in the city, and then I put stuff in my garage where I'd practice all week long with my brothers.
So who were you training with the most at that point? Like Mito? Who?
I was just training at the school and at my house with my brothers. Okay. And it was all I was doing.
Wasn't your dad a wrestler too?
No, my dad did Wing Chun Kung Fu.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when he used to come by the academy.
Oh, he's a black belt. You know that. Papa Serra. The North-South choke used to be the Papa Serra choke. Remember that?
Yeah.
Fucking Harley, listen, man. First of all, we could talk forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna have you back in studio. I think I like catching up with you, man. This fucking
I love seeing you, man. I mean, whether it's on the show or off the show, it's always fucking great to see you, man.
And when we do, we pick up right where we left off.
Always.
You know?
Man, always.
You get close after strangling each other for ages.
There's no better way to connect than choking the shit out of each other, more. Man.
I got a saying, man. I like to make good people dangerous. And like back when I was telling you when I was a kid and I didn't really fit in and this and that, like, with my school, dude, I got my own fucking. I set the vibe there. It's a great vibe. It's good people.
It's funny.
You know why? Because if I don't like
Henzo made dangerous people good.
See ya? Oh, that's funny.
You make good people dangerous.
Oh, that's funny.
Henzo made dangerous people good. At least that's what he did for us.
Good people. He made better.
He made dangerous. Well, that was the problem until I fucking started realizing that, there's a better way to live.
And not only dangerous, but as far as good, this is what I'll give a lot of credit to Henzo for is. He really mellowed me out to be like, look, man. Well, there was a part of Henzo where he's got that.
Oh, he's a wild man.
Well, he'd be in the beginning. He's like, look, I love this one. He goes, "We have enough friends. We could use some enemies." I'm like, fuck Henzo, because I'd be like, yo, how's this guy from that camp? He's like, he's good, but he's from that camp. Fuck him.
Oh, remember? People don't realize how when
tribal it was
when dudes would walk into an academy, it was like. Where do you train? Like everybody look at him like, where do you train?
The gunslinger music would come off. But Henzo also taught me that like I remember after I fought a guy one time and he came back in the locker room and he was, "Hey, maybe I'll come by your school." And I'm like, "Yeah, you want?" And I felt like he was still trying to test us or something. Henzo goes, "No, man, the guy's being nice. You're being a dick to him." Because I was like, "Yeah, you want to come down anytime you want to." I was like,
"You were still, I was
just in murderer mode, fighting mode." And Henzo goes, "Man, you gotta." He'd tell me how to chill out, even rolling. And I do this to my guys now. When I was a purple belt, I'd still whoever I rolled with, I would try to get him as fast as possible, and in 5 minutes, how many times I can get him, and they could be even new, but I could fucking. Then Henzo goes, Matt, what are you doing? What does a cat do with a mouse? Doesn't just kill it. You gotta play. You have to play. He should be on your back with almost a full-blown choke, and you get out. He should be on your arm, and you should get out. And I'm like,
yeah, man.
And I would get more out of it that way. And so I tell that to my guys now.
Yeah, man. Yo, he's got those. He puts it in a few words, and it just makes all the sense in the world.
Happy birthday, Master Henzo Gracie. He
said
his birthday
happy
yesterday.
Birthday, Henzo.
We love Henzo. It brought two freaks like us together.
Man, he's brought a
and
whole
we'll be
army
friends.
of freaks together.
We'll be friends for the rest of our life, Harley.
Absolutely.
Harley, what do you want to? Let's plug your documentary.
Yeah. Before I get off here, let me just tell you guys about the documentary. It's called Wired for Chaos. And it's going to be doing a theater run soon. You'll be able to see it online, whether it goes to HBO or Netflix or wherever it goes. I don't know yet. And the Cro-Mags, my band, are going out on tour with Danzig, Down, and Abbott in about first show is in 10 days. And man, I'll be touring all summer, man.
Fucking A, bro. I'll talk to you before then.
And tomorrow I got an hour stand up and then an hour of gi. So I'm getting myself.
Dude, we're staying Dane. Found of you.
Goddamn right, man.
Found of you.
Goddamn right. 58 and feeling great.
Tell this guy.
Oh, dude, the mats keep you alive. They keep you young.
We're gonna hit
bro.
him. We're gonna get him. He's gonna hear it from that side
have
and this
you
side
seen-
after the show.
Have you seen our abs?
Did you see our abs?
Did you? No.
You make it seem like I don't want to do it.
I thought you made like you better say you don't want to see my abs. I will rewind the episode. Everybody, the great Harley Flanagan. Stay humble yet dangerous.
All right.